Hey guys, it's Allison, and I have got my layout for day number 10 of Layout a Day. And our prompt today involved time, and one of our adventures was to scrapbook using temporal elements, so clock faces and all that kind of stuff. So I knew immediately which photos I was going to scrapbook. It's these three of the large clock from Hogwarts, and I found it really fascinating. I mean, it's absolutely massive. The sets that they designed and kept are just unbelievable. So I've mounted it onto a sheet of purple pattern paper that is from the Perfect Princess collection from Echo Park. And then the background paper is from Chamel's Go Now Go line. And then I really liked the sort of bullseye design on this piece from Gossamer Blue. It did remind me a bit of a clock face, so I decided to emphasize that by cutting it out into a half circle. And now it's just a matter of putting everything together. And I had cut a long strip from a cut apart from Chamel's Starshine collection, and I went to go and place it to glue it down. I realized I hadn't glued anything else down, so I'd better do that first. I've pulled a couple of sheets that I wanted to cut images out of. So that camera image is from Maggie Holmes' Chasing Dream paper with a whole bunch of large cameras on it. And then I have like this half camera that I figure I can put up there somewhere. It's not totally working for me, but I'm determined to make it fit, so I keep it handy. And then the other sheet I had is this cut apart sheet from Starshine, and I cut out that Phases of the Moon little piece. The clock has a lot of sort of astrological symbols on it, and I always seem to associate astrology and, I don't know, those sort of symbols with the Harry Potter books, so it seemed to work for me. Plus the colors worked. Okay, so I went looking through my stash for other die cuts and things that I could add, and I really liked that large die cut there with a heart. It's kind of it's like a heart constellation of stars, and then it's got a saying along the bottom, and it just didn't work. No way that I could put it in there would make the heart obvious, or you could see the words. So I put it aside, and I'll see if I can fit it into another layout. But this is when I finally determine how I can get that camera up there, and it's by layering it with these stars. This is a die cut from Little by Little, and by putting it over that cut edge, it's less noticeable that it's a half camera, I guess. And then I have the other half of that label die cut that I can tuck in down at the bottom. Now that is my little embellishment area where my title's going to go, and so I've pulled out a whole lot of different stickers, and these I've had them in my stash for a bit, so I'm not really sure who makes them. Probably American Crafts, because pretty much everything is American Crafts these days, right? And then as I was putting the letters above to say keeping time, I realized that K looked like it was gonna fall off. If I love Chamel's analogy of books on a shelf, and so the K was sort of floating in air. So I moved the label and put it up top there, and now the K is on the shelf. It's not floating free. The G, on the other hand, is. So I'm looking for things to add underneath it, and I've got these really old vellum stars from, I believe, Studio Calico. And so I just tuck one underneath the G to sort of keep it in place, theoretically or figuratively. And then I just start scattering those vellum stars all over. I had also pulled out 3 star stickers from Little by Little, and I put the purple one up in that smaller embellishment cluster because there wasn't a lot of purple up there, and then I pulled the other 2 down below up on pop dots to give it some dimension. And now I'm getting my journaling in, and I really toyed with writing it the other way and having it go sort of around the big circle. But I also wasn't really sure what I wanted to say, so it took me a bit of time, and finally I decided I didn't have a ton to say, and it would tuck nicely in here. And I can still take advantage of those sort of circular lines for journaling. So now my layout is almost finished, and oh yeah, I've had that arrow die cut on my scrap table for a long time, and it just doesn't seem to want to go into a layout. So I put a couple of little word strips in there. These are from a Gossamer Blue kit, and then more stars, because why not? So I've got some of the glittery enamel stars from Chamel's Glitter Girl. Those are, I think I used the pink ones, and then I decided to use a couple of pink round enamel dots as well. And then I also had these little teeny tiny blue chipboard stars sitting on my desk, and they're also, I believe, Studio Calico. So I added a couple of those in. And then that one yellow star up in the embellishment cluster at the top left is kind of yelling at me a little bit. So there was a sheet of acetate stickers from Starshine, and they had a whole lot of little yellow stars on them. So I scattered a few of those around too to try and bring that yellow throughout the rest of the layout. And then I added some silver mist, and then that's it. It's all done. So not a ton of embellishment. I think I'm sort of finding that as I go along, I'm embellishing less and less. And maybe I'm just streamlining my crafting. I'm not really sure, but I am enjoying myself. Hope you are too. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.